All right, so let's get started today for flow on our mats. Come onto your back, lie down, head resting on the mat. Bring the soles of the feet out wide and the knees to touch, arms down by the sides. Just lie here for a moment, starting to settle in. Let the body become a little heavier so you can start to rest. Take a deeper breath in through the nose. Back out through the mouth, sigh it out. 2 more cleansing breaths. Inhale in through the nose and back out through the mouth. Inhale in through the nose. Slowly exhale back out through the mouth. This time in through the nose, back out through the nose. Keep going, Ujjayi breath. Welcoming all the shifts and changes starting to happen. Yoga is always a great tool for bringing you back into this balanced state of being and feeling. Heel toe the feet closer together. Cross the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Take thread the needle so you can keep the left foot down on the mat or bring the legs in, reach through, grab the back of the left thigh. Try to stay even on the hips. Sometimes we get heavier on the right hip. Set the left foot down onto the mat. Cross the right leg high up over the left leg, so high up to the inner thighs. Bring the knees in toward the chest. You can grab onto the bottom knee or the back of the left thigh, whichever one feels better. Still a hip opening, but now you're getting into a different spot in the hip. And maybe even the outer glute muscles. Set the left foot down onto the mat. Uncross the right foot, right leg, left ankle, right thigh. Thread the needle this side. Right foot comes down to the mat, left leg high up over the right leg. Bring the knees in. You could keep the right foot down on the mat if you're feeling enough there. So grabbing the top of the right shin or back of the right thigh. And set the right foot down on the mat. Keep the left leg crossed high up over the right leg. Reach the arms up toward the sky. Bring the right arm on top of the left arm and take eagle arms. So you're either coming to backs of the forearms together. Maybe the left fingertips can hook inside of the hand. Keeping those legs crossed, lift the feet up so they're in line with the knees. And then keeping the head on the mat, reach the arms overhead, feet away from you. So you won't need to go very far. And then bring it back in. So you don't need to curl up either. So inhale, extend, get as long as you can, right? Where you start to feel the inner thighs have to squeeze, and then exhale it back. Inhale, extend, exhale back. Inhale, extend, exhale back. 2 more like that. Inhale, extend, Exhale, back, elbows in line with the shoulders. Inhale, extend. Exhale, back, set the right foot down onto the mat, uncross the arms, uncross the legs, right leg high up on top of the left leg, left arm on top of the right arm, find eagle arms, Garudasana arms on this side. Once you get it, feet lift up in line with the knees. Inhale, extend. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, extend. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, extend, get long. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, extend. Exhale, back to center. Two more. Inhale, extend. Exhale, back to center. Last one. Inhale, extend. Exhale, back to center. Set the feet down to the mat. Extend the legs out in front of you like Shavasana. So feet are a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. Stretch the arms overhead and then clasp opposite elbows overhead. So you can just let the arms rest. Right foot hooks over the left foot. Lift the upper body up and over to the left. Set the head down, both shoulder blades down. Banana asana. Both hips are down. Bring the upper body back to center, uncross the legs, stretch the arms overhead, switch the clasp of the elbows, bringing the other forearm on top, left foot on top of the right, legs are long, lift the upper body up and over to the right, set the head down, shoulder blades down, both hips are down. So getting as long as you can in both sides of the body, you'll feel the arc on the left side. Lift the upper body up, bring it back to center, uncross the legs, stretch the arms up overhead, getting long again. Start to walk the feet in, roll over to your right side. Use the hands to bring yourself up to tabletop, all fours. So once you get to tabletop, stack the shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. If you want to change the direction of the hands to get into the wrists a little deeper, you can. You can go fingertips to the side of the mat or fingertips pointing toward the knees, or you can go one hand forward, one hand back. You'll just need to switch at some point. So on the inhale, reach the heart forward, lift the tail. On the exhale, round the spine, chin in toward the chest. Keep going with your cat-cow. Follow your own breath. You don't need to stay with me. One more cycle, forward and back. Back to neutral spine. If you change the hands, turn them back around. Come all the way down onto your stomach. So you can bring the forearms down, step the feet back behind you, lie down onto your stomach, tops of the feet to the mat, reach the arms back behind you, squeeze the hands together. Then lift and spread the chest. Try to keep the feet pressing down on the mat so you can point the tailbone back, lift and spread the chest. It's your first back bend, so don't feel like you have to go up too high. And then exhale, release, rest. So you can turn the head to one side. You could stack the hands, rest the forehead down, whichever one feels better. Then you'll start to come up, lifting the head up to a little higher than the shoulders. Bring the hands by the lower ribs, press down into the feet. Inhale up for a medium cobra. So not your smallest cobra, not your biggest cobra, one that's starting to get a little deeper into the back. Outer elbows hug in, tops of the feet still press down. Belly hugs in a little bit. Tailbone points back. and release. Turn the head or rest the head on top of the hands. Lift the head back up, hands back by the lower ribs, press into the tops of the feet, lift and spread the chest. Cobra, maybe a little higher. You could stay here, or it's like you're trying to slide the mat back behind you, press into the tops of the feet, lift up, up dog. Shoulders stacked over the wrists, legs are strong, glutes are strong, chest is opening up wide. Downward facing dog. Lift the hips up and back, tuck the toes. Maybe pedal out the feet or find some movement in this first downward facing dog, especially if this is your first, you're just starting out the day with movement. You definitely want to give yourself some time to get into these bigger poses. Bend the knees, look forward to the top of the mat, step, walk, get the feet up between the hands. Take your time getting there, go slow, whatever you decide to do. Then on the inhale, come up halfway, slide the hands up the sides of the legs, reach the heart forward. Exhale, back down over the legs. 2 more like that, Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Last one, inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. This time, circle the arms all the way up to standing. Hands come together overhead, down in front of the heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, hands to the mat, step back to plank pose, lower down halfway chaturanga. Inhale up for your back bend. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Bend the knees deeply, look forward to the top of the mat, step, hop, get the feet up between the hands. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Arms circle all the way up to the top. Hands come together overhead, down in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, bend the knees, hands to the mat, step back to plank pose, shift forward onto the toes, bend the elbows halfway, chaturanga, cobra or up dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Starting to build some heat in the body. Bend the knees, look to the top of the mat, bring the feet up. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Arms circle all the way up to standing. Hands come together overhead, down in front of the heart. One more. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, hands to the mat, step back to plank pose, lower down halfway, chaturanga. Inhale up for your back bend. Exhale back, down dog. Looking forward at the hands, step the right foot up between the hands, coming into a runner's lunge. So feet are hip width distance apart. Come up onto your fingertips, reaching the chest forward. Dig down into both legs and then reach the arms straight forward. Hover the chest low over the front thigh. All the way up, crescent pose. Stay in your crescent pose. Just reach the arms forward, palms facing up. Bring the left arm on top of the right arm. Find eagle arms in your crescent pose. Lengthen the sides of the neck. Keep the hands right over the elbows. If you want a little bit more, you could start to reach the forearms up, hugging the core in, finding a little bit of a back bend, tailbone to pubic bone to tailbone. It'll also challenge your balance. Elbows back in line with the shoulders. Release the arms down by the sides. Bring them back up on your inhale, crescent pose. Open it up, warrior two. Flip the front palm up, reach up and back, reverse warrior. Keep that deep lunge in the front knee. Windmill the hands down to the mat. Make your way back to downward facing dog. You could go straight there. You could take a vinyasa. That's up to you. Left foot steps up between the hands. Find a runner's lunge with the feet hip width distance apart. Then start to come up onto the fingertips. Get some weight in the back leg. And then reach the arms forward so you're hovering low over the front thigh. All the way up to crescent pose. Keep the chest lifted. Reach the arms forward, palms up. Left arm on top of right arm. Hook the arms, lift, bring the hands right over the elbows, shoulders away from the ears. Maybe the arms reach up. Elbows in line with the shoulders. Reach the arms down by the sides, circle them back up, crescent pose. Open it up, Virabhadrasana 2. Lift the front palm up, reverse warrior. And hands come down to the mat. Make your way back, downward facing dog. Three breaths in down dog. Bend the knees, look to the top of the mat, bring the feet up between the hands. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Take chair pose, Utkatasana. Come all the way up to standing, hands come together, down in front of the heart. Reach the arms forward, palms facing up. Bring the right arm on top of the left arm, eagle arms. Any version of eagle arms that's working today, don't feel like you have to stick with the same one. Sometimes it changes. Bend the knees, sit back, chair pose, keep your eagle arms, chest lifted. But this time, shift the weight over to the right foot, cross the left leg high up over the right leg, coming into eagle. So you could have the left toes kicking out to the side. Maybe they're touching the mat, maybe they're lifted, but that foot's active. Some of us can get the foot hooked behind the calf. See which one feels better. You also want to make sure that the knee's still pointing straight. Sometimes when we hook the foot, the knee starts going in a different direction. Then set the left foot down to the mat, reach the arms up, chair pose, exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, step the left foot back behind you. Find that runner's lunge. Reach the arms forward, hovering low over the front thigh. Come all the way up to standing crescent pose. Arms reach forward, palms face up, right arm on top of left arm. Find eagle arms again. Maybe you start to lift the upper body. Outer hips have to hug in, core hugs in. Slowly bring the elbows in line with the shoulders, arms down by the sides, circle them up on the inhale, crescent pose. Lots of length in the sides of the neck. Open it up, Virabhadrasana 2. Flip the front palm, reverse warrior. Windmill the hands down to the mat. Come onto the ball of the back foot, widen your stance. Left foot comes up to meet the right foot, standing at the top of the mat. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold back to Utkatasana chair pose. Arms up. All the way up to standing, hands come together, down in front of the heart. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Keep this long stance, just bring the arms forward in front of you, palms up, left arm on top of right arm, eagle arms. Bend the knees, sit back, chair pose, chest stays lifted, so do the elbows in line with the shoulders. Shift the weight over to the left leg, right leg crosses high up over the left. Eagle, Garudasana. Keep the chest lifted. See if you can sit a little deeper, squeezing everything together, inner thighs together, core in. Right foot next to the left foot. Reach the arms up, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, fingertips to the mat, right foot steps way back, runner's lunge. Once you get your footing, reach the arms forward, hover low over the front thigh. Back leg is strong. Rise up, crescent pose. Arms forward, palms up, left arm on top of right, eagle arms. Maybe the forearms lift. See what happens. Elbows back in line with the shoulders, arms down by the sides, circle them up on the inhale to crescent pose. Warrior 2. Flip the front palm up, reach up and back, reverse warrior. And hands come down to the mat. Come onto the ball, the back foot, widen the stance. Right foot comes up to meet the left foot. Inhale up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Then exhale, fold back down, hands to the mat. Make your way back, down dog. So a lot of shoulder opening. Maybe you start to feel a difference in your back bends and chaturangas, keeping those shoulders away from the ears, giving the neck all the space it needs. Even in downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look forward to the top of the mat. Bring the feet up between the hands. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Chair pose. All the way up to standing, hands come together, down in front of the heart. Reach the arms forward, palms up, right arm on top of left, eagle arms, standing on both feet. Try to keep the elbows in line with the shoulders, hands over the elbows. Bend the knees, sit back, chair pose with eagle arms. Shift the weight to the right foot, eagle, left leg high up over the right leg. See if you can sit a little deeper. Squeezing everything together, keeping the chest wide, shoulders away from the ears. Keep the eagle arms. See if you can take it back to warrior 3. Take your time. Forearms reach forward and you're pushing something away with that left foot. Try to level off the hips so the left big toes pointing straight down toward the mat. Forearms reaching forward. Bend the standing leg, reach back with the ball of the left foot, crescent with eagle arms. Lift up as high as you want with the upper body and the arms. Elbows back in line with the shoulders, arms down by the sides, circle the arms up, crescent pose. Warrior 2. That left palm, the back one, turn that to face behind you. Wrap the left arm behind the back. So you're coming into a half bind. Flip the front palm up, reverse warrior with the half bind. Hands come down to the mat. You come onto the ball, the back foot, widen the stance. Left foot comes up to meet the right foot. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, sit back, Utkatasana chair pose. All the way up to standing, hands come together, down in front of the heart. Arms reach forward, palms up. This time, left arm on top of right, eagle arms. Bend the knees, keep the chest lifted, right leg high up over the left leg. Sit a little deeper, keep the chest lifted. So keeping the chest lifted, start to press down to that left leg, press back with the right leg, warrior 3 with eagle arms. Forearms are still reaching forward. And as you push that right leg away from you, try to pigeon toe the right foot so you keep that hip from opening. Bend the standing leg, reach back with the ball of the right foot, crescent legs, and then start to lift your eagle arms up. Deep lunge in the front leg, core hugging in. Elbows back in line with the shoulders. Release the arms down by the sides. Circle them up on the inhale, crescent. Warrior 2. Turn that right thumb down, palm facing behind you. Wrap the right arm behind the back. Flip the left palm up. Reverse warrior. Try to be long in the right side of the body. Windmill the hands down to the mat. Come onto the ball, the back foot, left foot out to the left, right foot steps up. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, hands to the mat. Make your way back, downward facing dog, optional vinyasa on the way. One more inhale, in through the nose. Back out through the mouth. Bend the knees, look to the top, get the feet up between the hands. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Chair pose, Utkatasana. All the way up to standing, hands come together, down in front of the heart. Reach the arms up overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Keep this lift of the chest, reach the arms forward, palms up. Right arm on top of left arm, Garudasana, eagle arms. Bend the knees, sit back like chair pose. Left leg high up over the right leg, eagle. So you can stay up with the chest You could also fold forward over the legs. That'll challenge your balance and it'll be a different variation of the pose. If you're doing it, think about reaching the elbows forward over the knees. You're coming up halfway if you folded forward. Keep that lift to the chest. Find warrior 3. Take your time. Bend the standing leg, reach back with the ball of the left foot, crescent pose with eagle arms. Maybe the gaze lifts, maybe the chest lifts, maybe the arms lift. Bring it back to center, arms down by the sides. Inhale, reach up, crescent pose. This time, warrior 2. Straighten the front leg, setting up for triangle pose. Hips shift back, right arm reaches forward. Bring the right hand down, left arm up. Turn that left palm to face behind you. Wrap the left arm behind the back. Half bind. Firm up the legs. Reach the right arm forward, palm facing up. Reverse warrior. Keep the half bind if you want to. Hands come down to the mat, come onto the ball of the left foot, widen the stance, left foot up to meet the right foot. Inhale up halfway, straight legs. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, sit back, Utkatasana chair pose. Come all the way up to standing, hands come together, down in front of the heart. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Keep this height from all the way up to the crown of the head. Reach the arms forward, palms up. Left arm on top of right, eagle arms. Bend the knees, chair pose with eagle arms. Right leg high up on top of the left. Stay here or fold forward in your eagle pose. Forearms reaching forward, elbows reaching forward. If you're folding forward, come up about halfway. Keep that momentum of the chest going forward. Right leg goes back. Virabhadrasana 3, warrior 3 with eagle arms. Bend the standing leg, reach back with the ball of the right foot. Lift the upper body up. Elbows in line with the shoulders, arms released down by the sides. Inhale, circle the arms up, crescent pose. Warrior 2. Straighten the front leg. Trikonasana, hip shift back, left arm reaches forward, left hand comes down, right arm reaches up. Right palm turns to face behind you. Wrap the right arm behind the back. See if you can get longer on both sides of the waist. Still keeping that left hand down, lightly resting on the ankle, shin, calf. Maybe that left arm floats forward, palm facing up, still opening the chest toward the sky, hugging the core in, weight even in both legs. Reverse warrior, option to keep the half bind. Next, exhale, windmill the hands down to the mat, come onto the ball of the right foot, widen the stance, right foot steps up, inhale up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana, hands to the mat, step back to plank pose, Vinyasa, maybe on the way back to down dog. 3 solid breaths and downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look forward, step, walk, get the feet up. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, chair pose. All the way up to standing, hands come together, down in front of the heart. Keep the hands together right in front of the heart. Chest is lifted, and you're pressing into the hands to keep that chest wide. Bend the knees like chair pose. Keep the hands in front of you. Shift the weight over to the right foot, left leg high up over the right leg. So eagle legs, hands still together in prayer. Open the chest to the left, coming into a twist. So you could come down and rest the elbow outside of that top thigh if you want to. Try not to dig into it too much. You want the twist to come from the core, upper abdomen, chest area, lengthening out through the crown of the head. Just the upper body comes back to center. Take your time. You don't want to move too fast. Keep pressing into the hands, warrior 3. Left leg presses back, lift it up high, core hugs in. Maybe drop that left hip if it's lifting. Step back with the ball of the left foot, reach the arms up, crescent pose. So just feeling the space and freedom we made in the upper body, skipping the eagle arms this round. Open it up, warrior 2. Every pose should feel a little bit different. Straighten the front leg, shift the hips back, Trikonasana triangle pose, right arm reaches up, right arm reaches down, left arm reaches up. Start to come into reverse warrior. Bend the right knee, reach the right arm up and back. And windmill the hands down to the mat. Widen the stance. Left foot comes up to meet the right foot. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Chair pose. All the way up to standing, hands come together, down in front of the heart. Stay here, press into the hands, find that width across the chest. Find your drishti, focal point straight in front of you, eye level. Bend the knees, sit back, chair pose. This time, right leg high up over the left leg. Keep the spine long, start to open the chest to the right, maybe lower down, hooking the elbow outside of the top thigh. Elbows wide. Back to center with the chest, warrior 3. Just with the legs, take your time. Chest is still reaching forward. Press out through both legs, core hugging in. Big toe on the right foot's pointing toward the center of the mat. Bend the standing leg, reach back with the right foot, arms up, crescent pose. Warrior 2. Straighten the front leg, Trikonasana triangle pose. Keep this width across the chest. Try to keep the same amount of space between the hands. Bend that left knee, reach up and back nice and slow. Take it to reverse warrior. Hands come down to the mat. Widen the stance. Right foot comes up to meet the left foot. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold hands down. Make your way back. Downward facing dog. Three long breaths in downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look forward to the top of the mat, bring the feet up between the hands. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, arms up. Inhale, Utkatasana chair pose. All the way up to standing, hands come together, down in front of the heart. One last time, reach the arms forward, palms up, right arm on top of left, eagle arms. Bend the knees, sit back, chair pose, find eagle legs, left leg on top of the right leg. Warrior 3 with eagle arms. Bend the standing leg, reach back with the ball of the left foot, arms up. Elbows in line with the shoulders, arms down by the sides. Inhale up, crescent pose. Open it up, warrior 2. Straighten the front leg, reach forward, triangle pose. Turn that left palm to face behind you, wrap the left arm behind the back, float the right arm forward, palm facing up. Open the chest to the sky, take it to reverse warrior, maybe keeping the half bind. Exhale the hands down to the mat, widen the stance, feet together, top of the mat. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Utkatasana chair pose. All the way up to standing, hands come together, down in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up, arms overhead. Arms forward, palms up, left arm on top of right. Eagle arms, bend the knees, sit back chair. Right leg on top of left leg, Garudasana. Warrior 3 with eagle arms. Press into that left leg, press back with the right leg, reach the forearms forward. Last time here. Bend the standing leg, reach back with the ball of the right foot, lift up, crescent with eagle arms. Find a little bit of a back bend. Elbows in line with the shoulders, arms down by the sides, circle the arms up, crescent pose. Warrior 2. Straighten the front leg, hip shift back, triangle pose, left arm down, right arm up. Right palm turns to face behind you. Wrap the right arm behind the back. Float the left arm forward, palm up. Legs are squeezing together, core hugging in. Open up the chest to the sky. Reverse warrior, half bind. Send that left knee straight forward. Left arm reaches up and back. Windmill the hands down to the mat, widen the stance, feet together, top of the mat. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, hands down, step back. Last vinyasa if you want one on the way to downward facing dog. Knees down, child's pose. Big toes together, sit the hips back, forehead down. So just use this child's pose to kind of slow down the heart rate, steady the breath. Shoulders are so open. Also play with back bends a little bit. Start to lift the head up. Bring the forearms down to the mat. So hands are flat, forearms down to the mat. You want those elbows to be shoulder width distance apart. Separate the feet so they're hip width distance apart. Press down into the toes, tucking the toes underneath you. Lift the hips up and back. Start to walk the feet in, coming into dolphin. So you can look forward if you want to. Just try to get the shoulders back and more of the weight into the legs. Some of you might like to lift one leg up. Maybe you take a couple of hops if you're feeling into it. If you have the forearm balance in your practice, you can go for it if you're feeling ready for that, or go up by a wall in practice. If you have one leg up, Bring it down, switch sides, other leg goes up. Left foot comes down. We all start to walk back to forearm plank. Set the hips down to the mat, rest. So you can stack the hands, you can bring the arms down by the sides, up to you. Then start to lift the head up. Bring the left knee out to the left. So inner edge of that left foot is down on the mat, toes are turning out. Cactus the arms, elbows in line with the shoulders. And then if it feels okay, look to the right and rest the left side of the head down onto the mat. If it's too much for the neck, turn the head the other way. That's fine too. Lift the head back up. Bring that left leg back behind you. Switch sides with the legs. So right knee comes out to the side, toes turn out, maybe right knee in line with the hip. Then looking back down at the mat, start to turn the head to the left, maybe rest the side of the head on the mat. See how that feels. You know, you can always go the other way. Start to lift the head up. Right leg comes back behind you. Bring the hands back by the lower ribs. Come up to hands and knees. Take child's pose again. Big toes together. Hips shift back over the heels. Forehead down. Maybe the arms go back behind you. Feeling a rounding of the upper back, a release in the shoulders. Then lift the head, come back to tabletop. So hands are shoulder width distance apart, knees are hip width distance apart. Walk the hands forward a little bit ahead of the shoulders. Keeping the right knee on the mat, just slide it forward toward the hands. Kick this right foot over to the left and then cross the leg. So right thigh is crossing high up over the left thigh. Separate the feet, maybe have a block nearby if the hips are tight or the knees are bothering you. Set the hips down between the feet. So you're not sitting on the feet, you're trying to work towards stacked knees. We've been playing with this shape a lot, so hopefully it feels somewhat familiar. But we are going to take the full pose today. Sometimes we break up the arms and the legs, but we'll do the full pose. So reach the left arm up, bend at the elbow, reaching down the center of the back. Right arm comes out to the side, thumb side down. Bring that right arm behind the back. Start to reach up. The hands don't have to touch. If they do, great. If they don't, just grab your shirt. Elbows keep hugging in toward the body. Start to fold forward over the legs, any amount. So you're putting some more weight on the hip opening. It also deepens the shoulder opening. And this is Gomukhasana, cow face pose. The legs will feel familiar. The arms, we haven't opened them up quite this way. We've done a lot of shoulder opening. We did the half bind, so the right arm probably feels somewhat familiar, but the left arm, this should feel nice at this point. Still some work though. Not the easiest shape to be in. Come to your breath. And start to bring yourself back up to seated. Release the arms down by the sides. And then you'll shift forward onto the knees, hands down in front of you. Come back out the way you came in. So hands need to go a little bit forward of the shoulders and uncross the legs. Knees are hip width. So hands still ahead of the shoulders. Slide that left knee up toward the hands. Right, left foot goes over to the right. Start to cross the inner thighs, widening the feet. And then you can take your time sitting back. There's kind of a fun stretch there if you just hover the hips back, reaching the arms forward like child's pose. And then when you feel ready, set the hips down. Hips need to be even, not on the feet. You should be able to press down into both sit bones. And then from here, right arm reaches up, bend at the elbow, left arm out to the side, thumb side down. Bring that left arm behind the back, work the hands toward each other. If they touch, great. If they don't, totally not a big deal. Start to fold forward over the legs. Gomukhasana, cow face pose. Start to bring the chest back up to seated. Release the arms down by the sides. Maybe take some shoulder rolls. Go the other way with your circles of the shoulders. Then start to push the weight forward, come back onto hands and knees, legs crossed, and then you'll start to uncross the legs. Walk the hands forward, bring that left knee back up toward the hands, and the knees are side by side. Feet come over to one side, find a seat, legs out in front of you. Soles of the feet to the mat. Come on down onto your back. Lengthen the legs out in front of you, reach the arms up overhead. We'll come back into that banana shape at the end of our practice. So clasping opposite elbows overhead, letting them rest, right foot on top of the left foot. You might need to move the feet more toward the center or more over to the left. Lift the upper body up, over to the left, rest. Close the eyes. Make sure both sides of the body are still touching down on the mat. And finally, getting the crossing of the legs with the legs straight. Lift the upper body, bring it back to center, uncross the legs, stretch the arms overhead, clasp opposite elbows the other way, let the arms rest, left foot on top of the right foot, lift the upper body up, bring it over to the right, just arcing the top of the body. Start to close the eyes, settle in on this side. Upper body comes back up to center, set the head back down, uncross the legs, stretch the arms overhead, get really long on your mat, take an inhale. On your exhale, bring the arms down by the sides, backs of the hands rest down on the mat, maybe lift the chest up to get the shoulder blades underneath you and come into Shavasana. Close the eyes, straight into stillness. You earn this. You'll start to take a deeper breath in through the nose, back out through the nose. Stretch the arms overhead, reach out through the legs, get long again. Walk the feet in, bending the knees, rolling over to your right side, cradle the head on the arm. You can always go the other way or stay on your back if that's not comfortable. Use the hands to bring yourself up to a cross-legged seat, sitting up tall. Bring the hands together in front of you, slight bow of the head, taking a moment to yourself to honor and acknowledge your heart and spirit, as well as everyone around you. Bring the head back up, blink open the eyes. Namaste. Hope you had a good practice today. Thank you so much for joining. See you next time.